NSVP 1 Environmental Awareness and Protection Lesson Part 2. Our learning objectives for these lessons are: at the end of the lesson, the students will be able to enumerate the meaning and classifications of solid waste and classify the waste that pollute the environment. What is environmental awareness and protection? Recapping from what we previously learned, environmental awareness is to understand the fragility of our environment and the importance of its protection. Promoting environmental awareness is an easy way to become an environmental steward and participate in creating a brighter future for our children. What is environmentalism? Environmentalism is an ideology that evokes the necessity and the responsibility of humans to respect, protect, and preserve the natural world from its anthropogenic afflictions. Environmental awareness is an integral part of the movement's success by teaching our friends and family that the physical environment is fragile and indispensable. We can begin fixing the problems that threatens it. What are the examples of environmental issues? One is the oil drilling. This issue is one that causes a great deal of environmental destruction. Another one is deforestation. Millions of acres of forest are cut down for industrial benefit. Deforestation causes wildlife and biodiversity extinction because the loss of habitat threatens many species' existence. Another one is the production of plastic goods. Currently, our society creates a great deal of waste, and much of that waste consists of plastics. The classifications of solid wastes. What are solid waste? When you hear the term solid waste, you probably think it means exactly what it sounds like: a waste that is solid as opposed to liquid or gas. Interestingly enough, though, that it's not what it means at all. The legal definition of solid waste actually has nothing to do with physical form. Rather, it deals with whether or not the material is a waste. Solid waste is also defined as any garbage, refuse, sludge from a wastewater treatment plant, water supply treatment plant, or air pollution control facility, and other discarded material, including solid, liquid, semi-solid, or contained gaseous material, resulting from industrial, commercial, mining, and agricultural operation, and from community activities. The following are examples of solid waste. One is decomposable waste. What are compostable waste? Compostable waste are biodegradable wastes such as food waste, garden waste, animal waste, and human waste. Biodegradable means materials that has the capability of being broken down, especially into innocuous products, by the action of living things such as microorganisms. Examples of this are the biodegradable trash bags. Compostable waste undergo biological degradation under the controlled conditions and can be turned into a compost, or soil conditioner, or organic fertilizer by mixing them with soil, water, air, and other biological additives activators. Another example of solid waste are the recyclable wastes. Recyclable waste are any waste materials retrieved from the waste streams and free from contamination that can still be converted into a suitable and beneficial product. It may be transformed into a new products in such a manner that the original products may lose their identity. Recyclable waste may be transformed into new products in such a manner that the original product may lose their identity. Recycling is the method used to convert the waste materials into products which can be reused. The common waste materials, which have the potential to be reused, can be recycled as raw materials, can reduce energy consumption, reduce pollution, reduce further pollution of water and landfills, reducing the need for waste disposal. Recycling is processing used materials or waste materials into new useful products. This is done to reduce the use of raw materials that would have been used. Another example of solid waste are the residual waste. What are residual waste? Residual waste are solid waste materials that are non-compostable or non-recyclable. Residual waste should be disposed ecologically through a long-term disposal facility and sanitary landfills. The following are examples of non-biodegradable materials such as metals, steel, aluminum, iron, and brass, bottles, vials, and broken glasses, plastics, and PVC pipes, rubbers, used tire gloves, boots, and mats and sheets. That includes also the textile trimmings, ashes and suits, styrofoam, tattered textile, paper and other packaging materials, laminates and composite materials, disposable diapers, broken ceramics, glazed materials, also the asbestos materials, and expired drugs and chemicals, and others. Example also of solid waste are the special waste. What are special waste? Special waste refers to household hazardous waste. Special waste are solid waste that are either difficult or dangerous to manage and may include sludges, bulky waste, pesticide waste, medical waste, industrial waste, hazardous waste which are not subject to regulations such as liquid waste, friable asbestos waste, and combustion waste. A special waste is a solid waste other than hazardous waste that requires special handling and management to protect the public health or the environment. We will now discuss the waste avoidance and the 3 R's of solid waste management. Under the solid waste management, we should avoid the following. Avoid disposable goods such as throwaways, razors, pens, diapers, and others. Eliminate household toxic waste from the garbage streams and avoid products that are made from non-renewable resources. Under the first R of solid waste management, we must reduce the amount of unnecessary packaging and adopt practices that reduce waste toxicity. Under the second R of solid waste management, which is reuse, we must consider reusable products, maintain and repair durable products, reuse bags and containers and other items. We must consider also borrowing or renting or sharing items used infrequently, and also considering selling or donating goods. Under the third R, which is recycle of solid waste management, we must choose recyclable products and containers and recycle them. Develop a compost yard trimmings, food scraps, and other biodegradable waste. And we must avoid burning things. We will now discuss Clean Air Act of 1999. We will first understand and define the following terms that can be found on the Clean Air Act of 1999. For example, air pollutants. Air pollutants means any matter found in the atmosphere other than oxygen, nitrogen, water vapor, and carbon dioxide, and the inert gases in their natural or normal concentration that is detrimental to the health or the environment. Next is air pollution. Air pollution means any alteration of the physical, chemical, and biological properties of the atmospheric air. Emission. Emission means any air contaminants, pollutant, gas streams, or unwanted sound from a known source which are passed into the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases. What is the meaning of greenhouse gases? Greenhouse gases means those gases that potentially or can reasonably be expected to induce global warming, which include carbon dioxide, methane, oxides of nitrogen, chlorofluorocarbons, and the like. Hazardous substances. What are hazardous substances? It means those substances which present either short-term acute hazards such as acute toxicity by ingestion, inhalation, or skin absorption, corrosivity or other skin or eye contact hazards, or the risk of fire explosion. Second, it is a long-term toxicity upon repeated exposure, carcinogenicity, which in some cases result in acute exposure with a long latent period. Resistance to detoxification process such as biodegradation and the potential to pollute underground or surface water. Ozone depleting substances or ODS. ODS means those substances that significantly deplete or otherwise modify the ozone layer in a manner that is likely to result in adverse effects on human health and the environment, such as, but not limited to, chlorofluorocarbons, halons, and the like. Pollution control technology. Pollution control technology means the pollution control devices, production processes, fuel combustion processes, or other means that effectively prevent or reduce emission or effluent. What is Clean Air Act of 1999? The Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999, known as Republic Act number 8749, outlines the government's measures to reduce air pollution and incorporate environmental protection into its development plans. The clear intent of the Clear Air Act is to bring the citizenry into a national, cooperative, and self-regulatory effort to clean the air we now breathe, and to ensure that our children will continue to enjoy the same. The measures to be adopted are meant to be preventive rather than corrective, with everyone voluntarily cooperating with the government rather than coercing the citizenry. The law is in place to test our compliance in taking care of our environment. The mechanics of Clean Air Act of 1999 are the following. It sets emission standards for all motor vehicles and issues pollutant limitations for the industry. Rules and regulations shall apply to all industrial emissions and other establishments which are potential sources of air pollution. Next to our discussion are the ways to improve the environmental awareness. One way of improving our environmental awareness is the cleanup program. Cleanup programs help to teach residents about recycling and about activities that will reduce the neighborhood's carbon footprints. Carbon footprints is the amount of greenhouse gases and specifically the carbon dioxide emitted by something, such as a person's activities or a product's manufacture and transport during a given period. Another way of helping our environment is gardening or planting. Plants naturally clean the air and the ground. Secondly, plants produce oxygen through the process of photosynthesis. They take in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through their leaves and use it to help expel oxygen and water. Carbon dioxide is what we expel when we breathe. It is a waste product by all means, and plants help recycle it into something we need to survive. They also remove any chemicals and bacteria that may be floating around the air, providing an overall healthier environment to be within. It also reduces cooling costs with well-placed trees and shrubs. Growing your own food reduces carbon footprints. Planting also prevents soil erosion, and planting also helps to reduce soil pollution. And it also finally supports beneficial insects and birds habitat. How about tree planting in improving our environment? Tree planting reduces climate change. If people are good at something, then it is building up excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Harmful carbon dioxide contributes to climate change, the biggest current problem of the world has to deal with. Trees, however, help fight it. They absorb carbon dioxide, removing it from the air and storing it while releasing oxygen. Annually, an acre of tree absorbs the amount of carbon dioxide which is equal to driving your car 26,000 miles. Trees are our main survival tools. Only one tree can produce enough oxygen for 4 people. Another thing is that tree planting purifies our air. They absorb pollutant gases such as nitrogen oxides, ozone, ammonia, sulfur dioxides, and others. Trees also absorb odors and acts as a filter as little particulates get trapped in leaves. A mature acre of trees can yearly provide oxygen for 18 people. In conclusion, tree planting provides oxygen, improves our air quality, climate amelioration, and conserves water. We must also remember that tree planting preserves our soil. Trees are one of the best partners when it comes to agriculture. They act positively in several ways. They reduce soil erosion, increase fertility, and help soil obtain moisture. Fallen trees' leaves lower, reduce soil temperature, and prevent soil from losing too much moisture. Decaying leaves that fall on the ground turns into nutrients for tree growth and promote microorganisms' development. Tree planting also supports our wildlife. Nowadays, one of the biggest world problems is fossil fuels. Except for their toxic properties, they will also not be around forever. So many companies are focusing on renewable resources or sources of energy. If harvested and treated substantially, trees can become a great renewable source of energy. They are simple to use and have been around since the beginning of time. And with smart forest management, they can become an excellent eco-friendly fuel. What is environmental education? Environmental education provides important opportunities for students to become engaged in real-world issues that transcend classroom walls. Environmental education, or EE, refers to organized efforts to teach how natural environments function, and particularly how human beings can manage behavior and ecosystems to live sustainably. Environmental education is vital in imparting an inherent respect for nature among societies and in enhancing public environmental awareness. UNESCO emphasizes the role of environmental education in safeguarding future global developments of societal quality of life through the protection of the environment, eradication of poverty, minimization of inequalities, and ensurance of sustainable development. The term often implies education within the school system, from primary to post-secondary. However, it sometimes includes all effort to educate the public and other audiences, including print materials, websites, media campaigns, and others. There are also ways that environmental education is taught outside the traditional classroom. Aquariums, zoos, parks, and nature centers all have ways of teaching the public about environment. What are the benefits of environmental education? Environmental education, or EE, is often lauded by educators as an ideal way to integrate academic disciplines, stimulate the academic and social growth of young people, and promote conservation of the natural environment. And what are the benefits of environmental education? One, it improves academic achievements of students. It encourages environmental stewardship. It deepens personal development and well-being. And finally, it strengthens communities. Ms. Campbell of California commented on the environmental education. She stated, "They can see the relevance of their classroom studies to the complex environmental issues confronting our planet, and they can acquire the skills they will need to be creative, problem solvers, and powerful advocates." Concluding now our lesson on environmental awareness and protection, our learning outcomes are, at the end of the discussion, the students will be able to apply the environmental education principles in his or her everyday life. Another one is to recognize the practical efforts to slow down, if not to reverse, the environmental deterioration. And finally, to organize programs in their barangays that will help educate people on environmental protection.